Holiday-themed horror movies have always been pretty common. The most celebrated is obviously those taking place on Halloween. Tons of horror movies take place on Halloween, and hell, arguably the most famous slasher franchise of all time is literally just called Halloween. And as bad as some of those Halloween films ultimately became,
trick or treat, motherfucker,
it will not even begin to prepare you for what we're going to be talking about today. Anyway, holiday-themed horror movies. Christmas, that has a shocking amount of horror movies considering it's a season filled with love, wonder, and joy. You got Black Christmas, you got Silent Night, Deadly Night. Recently, we had Terrifier 3. And there's a variety of Krampus movies that vary in quality. Even Gremlins is a Christmas horror movie if you want to think about it that way. Leprechaun pretty much represents the St. Patrick's Day horror movies. Valentine's Day has a few horror movies, even April Fool's Day. But what about Thanksgiving? Okay, so admittedly, this has pretty much been rectified with Eli Roth's film that came out last year that's just titled ThanksKilling. It's a movie that turned out to be way better than it had any right to be, taking influence from several classic mystery mass slasher movies like Pieces and even the Scream franchise. But even this movie took 16 years to actually come to fruition, because the original mock trailer for Thanksgiving that was part of the Grindhouse double feature, it played in between Planet Terror and Death Proof when they came out, and this was all the way back in 2007. That original Thanksgiving trailer will always hold a special place in my heart regardless, and I do give Eli Roth credit for putting at least 80% of what he put in the original trailer in the movie when it finally got made, but there are some moments that stand out to me that I wish were in there.
Split. Son of a bitch.
You'll come home for the holidays in a body bag.
But up until last year, 2023, the options for Thanksgiving horror movies were incredibly slim. I guess thinking of ideas to center a Thanksgiving horror movie around might be difficult since the celebration itself is basically just people sitting around a table eating food, watching sports ball, and arguing with family members over their various political topics. But if you were willing to dig within the shithills of the obscure, absurd, horrendous, nonsensical worlds of the deepest, darkest cesspool of the horror realm, then you may have stumbled upon a Thanksgiving horror movie that was released sometime in the mid-2000s with just barely over a $3,000 budget. A movie so unbearably bad that Squancho himself would rise from the grave to throw pumpkin pie right in your face if you even dared to say that you enjoyed it.
Go get it, Johnny.
Oh, fuck. Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
That's right. I hope you've all already had your meals today because we're going to be talking about ThanksKilling. This movie features a group of unsuspecting teens as they face off against the reanimated corpse of a demonic turkey that rises from the grave every 505 years to kill off any white person that he encounters because of an ancient grudge about disrespect, or something like that. I don't know. Does the lore actually matter? Absolutely not. The only thing that matters is that this movie gives us a wisecracking asshole of a turkey puppet that's going around killing people and delivering some of the worst holiday-themed puns of all time.
I took this here axe and I accidentally cut him. Get it? Accident.
To give you an idea of what kind of movie you're getting into, the film literally opens with a close-up shot of a nipple. Yeah, I can't show it on YouTube, but trust me, you're going to be full-on areola central within the first 5 seconds of the film. It's just a flashback, though, to show a pilgrim girl from the past getting killed by Turkey. That's the killer turkey's name, by the way. His name is Turkey. He kills her after a quick comment about her boobs.
Nice tits, bitch.
And speaking of boobs, we flash forward to modern day and we meet our main characters. The heavyset redneck character named Billy rips his shirt open in celebration of Thanksgiving break from school, but he says that he only ripped his shirt open in order to inspire girls to rip their shirts open. Yeah, right, like that ever would work.
Yeah! Spring break, guys! Let's get wasted!
Oh, okay, I guess it did. If for some reason you haven't figured it out yet, yes, this movie is meant to be bad on purpose. And if you happen to watch this with a group of friends and have some alcohol involved, I'm sure you'll have a great time. Other than that, though, it might be best to keep some ibuprofen on hand if you're attempting to get through this entire film and you're not intoxicated at all. Anyway, the main cast is as perfectly stereotypical and cliche as you can get. You have the jock character, the good girl character, the redneck, the nerd, and, to put it lightly, the slut.
You're kind of a hoe. I'm not gonna lie, you're pretty skanky.
Meanwhile, in the woods, an old hermit and his dog are the first to discover the revived poultry menace. And warning for anybody sensitive to these things, but yes, the dog does die. Oh, and I really don't know where else to talk about this moment, but this is the good girl's dad. He's also the sheriff, and this happens.
That coffee tastes like shit. What'd you do? Take a dump in it?
As a matter of fact, I sure did.
The kids get stuck in the woods and decide to camp there. They tell of the legend of Feathercloud, a Native American that used black magic to create turkey. Also, that the pilgrim that disrespected him was an ancestor of the redneck character, which, does that matter, or does it ever come back into play the entire movie? No, it doesn't. But fuck it. This movie is not about lore. This movie is about a turkey puppet killing things. But before then, we have to waste a bunch of time with the kids having stupid banter around a campfire, which ultimately results in nothing. None of them even get killed here, and for a movie that's only an hour and 10 minutes long, there sure are a number of scenes that just drag and make the movie feel even longer. It's more entertaining watching the sheriff drinking shit than watching the kids talk in the woods. So Turkey begins his massacre of the white man, and he tries to get to the kids that he saw in the woods. To do that, he'll have to get back to town, which means he needs to hitchhike. The dude that stops at the side of the road to pick him up either pays no mind that Turkey is in fact a turkey, or just simply doesn't care. Who stops their car for a turkey? Who would want to fuck a turkey?
Now that's what I call a tight ass.
It's not for you. Or anyone else for that matter.
Who hears a turkey start speaking fluent English and doesn't question it? The answer is this guy.
And tell her that
On his tirade, Turkey goes over to the jock's house and carves up his dad, and once he's done there, he goes over to Allie's house, where I don't even know how to describe this without sounding like it's the worst thing that you can possibly imagine. But it is, so, okay, while she's having sex with somebody, the turkey kills the dude and then takes his place midway through. And it's all to set up this one-liner.
You just got stuffed!
This is a real movie that people made, and that's the thing. You just have to remind yourself, it's only a movie. It's only a puppet turkey, and she still had all of her clothes on for some reason, so maybe they were just dry humping and not actually having sex. But personally, I think the second joke about this moment is way better than the first one.
An extra small, gravy-flavored condom.
Yes, that's the same exact kind that I buy. So the sheriff, the good girl's father, he dresses up as a turkey for some pageant or something. I don't really know. But anyways, at the same time, the turkey shows up at his house dressed as a human by wearing a fake nose and glasses costume. He's able to convince the sheriff that he's human by doing this, but not just any human, a midget human.
Well, I never noticed you had a midget for a buddy.
Which is the only reason the sheriff allows him to use curse words, because if he's a midget, he can do that, and if he was not, then listen, at first it seems like Turkey isn't going to kill him out of some sense of awkwardness, and this scene is unbearably awkward, but then not only does he kill him, he cuts off his face and wears it as a mask, Texas Chainsaw Massacre style. And wouldn't you know it, this also works as the perfect disguise to trick the kids, because obviously wearing the face of the sheriff makes him look exactly like the sheriff. They have totally the same exact body type, so wearing the mask, yeah, it's seamless.
Thanks, Daddy. I'd die if it wasn't for you.
More like, you will die if it was for me.
There's more bullshit scenes of the kids trying to research how to kill the turkey, while the redneck Billy gets so hungry, he starts wandering the streets until, I guess, either he's hungry enough to envision turkey as a cooked turkey, or turkey himself is maybe making him envision himself looking like a cooked turkey, which Billy somehow eats all in one bite. But does that mean that he's actually swallowing the literal turkey? Or is he metaphorically swallowing the turkey? Or did turkey turn into some spiritual entity for him to swallow? And also, this is the size of a regular turkey, even if it was cooked. So is this implying that he can eat an entire turkey in one bite? I literally have no idea how any of this works, but turkey manages to get inside of his body and then bursts out of him alien style.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
The nerd is pretty torn up about this, and we get a montage sequence of their amazing friendship. Now, there's a whole big buildup of needing to use a special incantation and ritual to defeat the turkey, but the hermit guy from the beginning just shows up and blows him away with a shotgun instead, which would have been a pretty funny ending in and of itself, but it's not the end. Instead, we have a twist. See, Turkey is accidentally thrown away in a dumpster that's filled with radioactive waste, so Turkey comes back more powerful than ever. The nerd gets all kinds of fucked up, having his tongue ripped out, and actually I think the nerd death might be the best kill in the movie because the constant beak pecking that's going on, I don't know, it actually looks kind of good. The jock is then stabbed with an electric turkey cutter, which I don't know why it took them almost to the end of the movie to have an actual Thanksgiving-themed death implement, but it's good enough, I guess. And Kirsten still doesn't use the ritual to defeat him. Instead, she just sets him on fire with an aerosol can, which I guess also works.
Oh, my feathers are fucking melting. Oh.
The final scene is an actual Thanksgiving dinner with literally no characters that we have seen the entire film, except for the cooked turkey, which is, shocker, Turkey still alive, or at least conscious and still able to attack with a burned up cooked turkey body. Why he waited to be cooked first, I don't know. Also, I don't know who the fuck would have retrieved his corpse from the burning pyre and decided to feed it to their family, unless this is a completely separate turkey body in which Turkey was able to supernaturally transfer his soul into possessing potentially any turkey at Thanksgiving dinner from here to eternity. But then again, I know it's just a stupid ending to a stupid movie, so who cares about the logistics? But that's ThanksKilling. Look, this movie is not good, but it was made to not be good, and I think you can look at that a number of ways. See, there's a lot of old horror movies that become cult classics because of how absurd and silly they are, but their intentions were pure at the time. Sleepaway Camp, for example, is ridiculous, but it was made to be a legitimate slasher movie. It's just the low budget and over-the-top acting that turned it into a movie that we can laugh at and enjoy at the same time. The problem with movies like ThanksKilling is sometimes that if you're specifically trying to make a bad movie, it comes off as less charming and more cringe, I guess. A perfect example of that is also the Sharknado franchise. But in the case of ThanksKilling, I do think, oddly enough, there is a level of genuine enjoyment to be had here because, well, I think the idea of a turkey puppet killing people is pretty funny. But I also love puppet movies in general, so maybe I'm a little biased. This is not something I would recommend to everyone, but like I said, if you get a group of friends together and you want to have some laughs, it might be worth a viewing. But at least thank God they never actually made any sequels. Wait, what the fuck? ThanksKilling 3? They made 3 of these goddamn movies? That's impossible. Okay, fair enough. I have not extensively looked into the ThanksKilling franchise. I watched ThanksKilling for the first time back in like 2010 and I kind of left it at that. I maybe have watched it once since then. I just assumed a movie this low budget and terrible would never actually have a sequel. Well, I don't want my video to be incomplete, so I guess I have to watch ThanksKilling 2 and 3. But where's ThanksKilling 2? I keep searching for it, and I can't find it anywhere. It's not streaming. I can't find any physical copies. I can only find ThanksKilling 3. Wait a second. I'm looking at the ThanksKilling 3 synopsis, and it says, a foul-mouthed villain turkey carves his way through the likes of a rapping grandma, a mindless puppet, a wig-wearing inventor, a bisexual space worm, and their equally ridiculous friends on his quest to recover the last copy of ThanksKilling 2. So, you're killing me. There is no ThanksKilling 2. They went right to ThanksKilling 3. And ThanksKilling 3 is a meta movie about ThanksKilling 2. I don't even know what to say. I mean, after watching the first one, I guess I'm not surprised, but now I really don't want to do this. Why do I have to be some kind of OCD completionist when it comes to shit like this? Like, why do I don't need to watch it. I just wanted to make a funny Thanksgiving video. I could leave it at the first one, but fine. All right. So this is my first time ever watching ThanksKilling 3. Wish me luck. Okay, about 2 minutes in, and this is already a mistake. We start with another nipple shot to open the movie, except this time it's in space. That's right, this series already goes to space.
Good shooting, Turkey.
Captain Pilot.
But the space route is not ThanksKilling 3 yet. What we're watching is a clip from ThanksKilling 2 that in our real world was never made, but in the universe of ThanksKilling 2 was made, but it was so bad that every copy was destroyed except for one missing DVD that will be the MacGuffin of this movie. Yeah, ThanksKilling 3 is all about ThanksKilling 2, which means it must take place in a different universe than the first movie, since it would mean that the first movie is also a movie, kind of like maybe the Stab movies in the Scream universe. But Turkey seems to be the exact same character, with the exception that he's no longer a cooked turkey that was at the end of part 1. But if part 1 is a movie in this movie's universe, then that must mean it was based on him, or maybe he just starred in it and he's an actor, or maybe it's a documentary. I really don't know. But the movie cuts to something completely different, and you know that you're in for a whirlwind of bullshit. A puppet named Yomi loses her mind. Literally, this is what we see.
So long, Yomi. Don't be afraid.
Then we go to an area mimicking the Terminator music with a bunch of people destroying DVD copies of ThanksKilling 2. And get used to these fucking synthesizer music montages, because there's about 5 of them in this piece of shit movie. Oh, and you know how in the first one, it was only an hour and 10 minutes long, roughly? This movie is an hour and 40 minutes, but it feels like an eternity trying to sit through the entire thing. Also, why does the narrator sound exactly like Splinter from the Ninja Turtles movies?
Only one copy remained, and Turkey would stop at nothing to get it.
Anger clouds the mind. Turned inward, it is an unconquerable enemy.
Here's some new main characters for you. Yeah, there's very few actual human characters in the movie, and instead, we get a robot and an earthworm from space named Rhonda. I'm reminded that I spoke way too soon about the fact that I like puppet movies, and now I am filled with unbearable regret. Anyways, we catch up with Turkey, who I still don't know if he's meant to be the same Turkey from the first film, or if we're in an alternative universe, but considering the ThanksKilling movies are movies in this universe, and considering the fact that I'm watching a sitcom-style scene of Turkey, his nagging wife, and a baby turkey, I guess I will just concede that I shouldn't be thinking about this logically, and just go with it. Maybe I wouldn't mind the absurdity of the idea that he's washed up and stuck in a lifeless marriage, doing the mundane sitcom stuff if the jokes were actually funny, but the writing is so piss poor that they kind of default to lowest hanging fruit like bird vomiting jokes. But when Turkey finds out that all copies of ThanksKilling 2 have been destroyed, he jumps back into action, killing his wife and forcing his son to join him in his search for the final copy.
Are we gonna go be mean now, Dad? Screw being mean. I'm nasty.
Puppets and magical creatures are all over this film. From what I understand, they were able to crowdfund a budget up to $100,000 for this. And so the effects, well, I guess you can say the bar has been raised. We have puppet main characters, we have talking garbage piles, we have animated gay cats that show up for a scene, but the worst is yet to come. Honestly, this feels like it's trying to hit that Tim and Eric Awesome Show vibe or Dr. Steve Brule style humor, but somehow it can't even reach the lowest target of that. Yomi, while looking for her brain, finds the final ThanksKilling 2 copy in the garbage, and also crosses paths with a TV infomercial salesman who loves Thanksgiving and is hoping to open a Thanksgiving theme park. He takes her home to his family or his friend's family for dinner. I kind of forget which it is, but we're introduced to his friend's mom, a full-on puppet old lady who loves rap music and also talking about her sexual exploits.
Within last night, I grabbed onto D'Angelo's cock.
This is by far the most annoying and obnoxious character in the film, and maybe in any film that I've ever seen. I truly struggled to make it through any of her scenes, and it was at this point that I really contemplated turning this movie off. Essentially, this guy Donnie is our only token human character to interact with, and everybody else in the movie is a puppet. It's sort of like a Muppet movie, but on methamphetamine. Meanwhile, Turkey and his son are taking a seagull taxi, but Turkey kicks his son off the seagull, splattering him on the pavement, removing his soul, and then sending his soul to possess the final copy of ThanksKilling to create a living DVD case. Yeah, that's what happens.
Hey, that's my favorite head.
This whole sequence at Donnie's house is way too long. The pacing is awful. His brother or his friend, I can never remember. The other guy with the staff just isn't funny, but finally Turkey shows up and kills him. Some aspects of this movie feel like a dream because somehow the characters get into a forest and I totally forgot how, but they meet this older, wiser Turkey that re-explains the lore of Turkey from before, which is basically the same, like he was created from a curse and yada yada. He's also babysitting 2 birds or something.
What I learned is today.
Before the hunting, the plucking and the stuffing.
Then somehow the characters get back to the house, I also don't know how, and then there's more music montages. Look, at this point, I completely lost track of the plot, but the robot and the earthworm from space arrive, and somehow Turkey is thrown into Donnie's sentient, manufactured turkey plucking machine that spits Turkey out and leaves him for dead. Everything mentioned from the initial house scene to this scene also happens within a 20-minute span, and I have no idea how to consolidate that fact. Now, Rhonda the Worm wants to get rid of the final ThanksKilling 2 copy by sending it through a vortex that is opened up by the robot's asshole. I don't even know how to describe this movie, man. Why would somebody make a robot where the vortex had to come out of his ass? Like, who designed this shit? Why not just make the vortex come out of a device or something? Put it on a watch or a shield. Not make an entire fucking robot just so that he can fart through dimensions. Okay, now the only scene I might be able to say I like is when Turkey calls upon a bunch of skeleton turkeys to revive him. It's the only moment in the whole film that felt like it had some potential. Even the low-hanging fruit joke of them not being able to put his dick back because they couldn't find it, so instead they attach a chainsaw where his dick should be. I was like, fine, okay, whatever, that makes sense, let's do this.
You lost my dick? Yeah, I mean, we didn't lose it, it just misplaced it.
Yeah.
No dick, huh?
But nothing is really paid off with it, except the old rapping grandma finally gets killed, which was a relief. But as far as dick jokes go, the gravy-flavored condom from the original works way better than any of this stuff. But then I think, oh my god, I'm actually getting nostalgic for the original ThanksKilling. That's how bad this one is. Again, I know they're making a shitty movie on purpose, and I guess using 90% puppet characters for the cast is ambitious, but I just can't bear to give too much credit to anything going on here. Turkey gets the ThanksKilling 2 DVD from Yomi after supposedly killing her, but since she's just a puppet, or as this movie must inform us, a creature in which all puppets were based on, all she needs to revive her is somebody putting their hand up her butt. So Yomi and Rhonda head into the plucking device, which takes them to Turkey Hell. Yeah, we're accessing alternate dimensions, and now the movie is in Turkey Hell. What's in Turkey Hell, you may ask? Well, turkey skeletons, fire, brimstone, mashed potatoes, and rats that sniff each other's asses.
What's this, alright?
So what is Turkey's master plan after all? Well, he just so happens to have a device here in hell that will stream ThanksKilling 2 to everybody everywhere on every device. Oh, wait a second. I get it. This movie is actually a commentary on the rise of streaming services and the fall of physical media. It makes perfect sense. The movie came out in 2012, just as streaming was completely taking over. I get it. ThanksKilling 3 is actually way ahead of its time, warning us of the dangers of streaming devices and no longer being able to find and choose what to watch via physical media. The fact that there's only one copy of ThanksKilling 2 is in reference to the decline of the format and the difficulty of finding and watching older films that are being lost into obscurity. Only by forcing the world to watch it via streaming will they actually pay attention to it. It's the sad reality of our current world, where a once coveted and cherished pastime has fallen into irrelevance, and the puppets must be symbolism of our very youth, a thing that appeals to children as imagery to remind us of a simpler time before the world went completely to shit, represented by the shittiness of this very film. Oh my god, I get it now. ThanksKilling 3 is a masterpiece, you guys. Or maybe it's actually just shit. I don't know. Here's Franken-Turkey.
You know, I don't want to go by Franken-Turkey anymore. I want to be called Blarth.
Yomi gets the DVD back, bringing it to the physical plane. Rhonda dies, the fucking robot kills himself, and then it seems like there's nobody left to defeat Turkey. Except that random old wise turkey shows back up and he transports both of them into a video game from 1993. I really wish I wasn't making this up. You guys, this movie cannot be real. This has to be a fever dream that I had. Rhonda the Worm regenerates or something, so he's not actually dead. I don't fucking know. He opens up the ass vortex again, but Turkey defeats the old Turkey in the video game. He returns to the physical plane. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, because I didn't care, but the old Turkey gave Yomi a special wishbone that she uses to blow Turkey up, all except for his head. And then they all are in danger by being sucked into the vortex. Turkey's son, who is actually still in control of the DVD that he's possessing, decides that he doesn't want to be evil like his father and attacks him, and they both get sucked into the vortex. Yomi is also absorbed, but goes to a place of tranquility, once again reunited with her missing mind. And I think this whole sequence is meant to be pretty emotional because it's all in slow-mo and there's sad music, but all I'm feeling while watching it is deep regret. Deep regret that an hour and 40 minutes of my life was spent watching this, and about several more hours are going to be dedicated to making this review video that's going to crash and burn in the YouTube algorithm anyway and be forgotten in a day or two, and I just wonder, what is my life? Why do I do this to myself? Why do I make the dumbest videos possible about the dumbest topics possible, forever self-sabotaging myself away from any kind of sustainable success? Maybe I really am like Yomi. Maybe I've just lost my mind a long time ago and I can never get it back. Maybe I need someone to stick their hand up my ass to revive me. Am I doomed to just continue repeating the same mistakes of talking about bullshit instead of any quality content that would actually get me views or attention? I don't know. Why am I compelled to do this? There's a movie about a murdering puppet turkey, and I felt like I had to spend at least multiple days of my life consuming all of the content possible and making this video for you guys. This is where I am in my life right now. I'm in my 30s. I don't have kids. I don't know what's happening. I don't have a life. I just sit around and watch fucking killer turkey movies, okay? Anyways, what's going on? Oh yeah, so Donnie opens up a amusement park of Thanksgiving or something, so that's cool. Turkey might be taking over heaven now as well. I don't know, but that's the end of the movie. And at least I can say this was the last ThanksKilling movie ever made, and the franchise never returned. Except, of course, for the stage play musical. No, not talking. I'm out. I'm done. No more. Anyways, guys, I hope that you had a good Thanksgiving. Or if you're watching from a different country that doesn't have Thanksgiving, I hope you at least enjoy the video. If you have to watch a Thanksgiving-themed horror movie, maybe just watch the Eli Roth movie. It's pretty good. But now I have to go drown my sorrows in pumpkin pie, and I might not be back for a while. I have to think about my life choices. But at the end of the day, what am I thankful for? Honestly, I'm thankful for the ThanksKilling movies. Because if the people that made this could make a movie, then there's probably not much stopping me. So I'm going to go work on my script a little bit. Anyways, peace out, guys, and happy ThanksKilling, bitch!
I don't have a PhD in ass vortexes.
Ass vortexes?